We moved here in 1981. It was pretty well derelict, and we gradually worked our way through, up the hill, round the land. We planted a few plants, but apart from that, we've not really interfered with it very much.
That's part of our gardening philosophy. You work in an area, and when you leave it, it shouldn't look as though you've worked in it. Let the plants tell you the story. Let the mosses tell you the story. That's really, I think, the fundamental thing behind our style of gardening.
We knew the quarry was here, and we knew it had been a garbage tip for 200 or 300 years. It had been filled up with old refrigerators and washing machines. We'd been to Japan, we'd seen Japanese gardens, and we liked the idea of that being a Japanese-influenced area, but we let it go, we let the mosses and everything else take over.
Japanese gardeners dominate the landscape, but we've done very little. So it's a very different approach, giving, in some ways, a rather similar end product. The northwest of England, Lakeland, has a very wet climate, and here we get about 70 inches of rain a year. We're surrounded by plants that thrive under those temperate rainforest conditions. Many different types of rhododendron, for example. Enkianthus just by us here. Many different sorts of camellias. All these plants are able to withstand the rainfall, in fact, enjoy the rainfall. Most of them are rather shallow-rooted, which is good because we have very little soil here on this hillside. We've done really very little except stand back and watch. The area is predominantly now populated by one of our native mosses, the common one in this garden, Polytrichum formosum. It just will slowly cover any horizontal surface or anywhere with just a little bit of soil. And the Polytrichum, from about now onwards, will develop its little spore capsules, which are a golden color. It's really beautiful and very different from what it looked like a month ago. We've not moved or planted any ferns or mosses or lichens. We've looked at what's arrived, and then we've tweaked it. What we do is to clear leaves and fallen twigs and so on off the surface, because these plants still need light. And otherwise, sit back on a seat and enjoy what has arrived.
This is the most formal part of the garden, and it's the last part of the garden we actually did anything with. We knew from the 1910 OS map that there was a spring here, so David built this grotto, and then we realised that the grotto area was being colonised by this. It's a British native. Started off as a small patch, has spread. We like them. They like us. If they want to live and we want them, then we just have it and they go for it.
The moss path started life as an access route down between some birch trees. But over time, the mosses built up into these beautiful mounds. And then about 10 years ago, we thought it would look good with a little bit of gravel down the middle, slightly narrower at the top, wider lower down, so it gave you the sense of a river increasing in volume down the hill. We pass it every time we go up into the wood, and your head always swings round to check the moss path is still there. We're only custodians, so all of us on Earth just occupy a small amount of space, and we're not going to be here for very long.
It's not a legacy. In 30 years' time, it should just go
like
back.
Like us, it should decay
Okay,
slowly and gracefully.
Or disgracefully, please.